The year is 1977. A new cable channel debuted. It was called Cube. To perceive Cube was a cable network based on Columbus, Ohio. It had a local channel known as C3. C3 never aired one show, and that is Finwheel. Finwheel was developed by Emperors of CTW, best known for creating Sesame Street. More specifically, Dr. Vivian Horner, who also founded C3. Before creating Pinwheel, Vivian Horner was an educational and researcher for the PBS series The Electric Company. C3 broadcast Pinwheel on loop from December 1st, 1977 until March 31st, 1979. On April Fool's Day of 1979, everything changed. Time Warner Cable purchased C3 and changed its name to the time-honored Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon's very first logo looked like this. Finwheel was Nick's launching program. In addition to Finwheel, more shows were added, including video comics, Nickelflix, By the Way, and Hocus Focus. Nickelodeon actually gets its name from the Nickelodeon. The Nickelodeon was the very first type of cinema that was mainly a thing in the 1900s and 1910s. The name itself comes from nickel, the 5-cent coin, as well as Odeon, as in Odeon Theatre in Europe, a theater in France. In 1980, Nickelodeon changed its logo from a boring-looking word into a crystal ball with the letters of Nickelodeon being in a rainbow. While Nickelodeon eventually aired for 13 hours a day, the Alpha reported television service Arts would broadcast at night. In 1982, You Can Do That on Television was added to the schedule. Basically, it was the 80s version of all that. In 1984, Arts stopped existing. And it was replaced with Nick at Night, which broadcast old-timey shows before the 1960s. While Arts itself became the known visual drama channel, R&E, which is on a completely different channel now. On October 1st, 1984, Nickelodeon retired this crystal ball logo and replaced it with the iconic orange splat that most know Nick for. Also in 1984, Grimaldi Lightboard was made vice president of Nickelodeon. According to an interview with Vivian Horner, Red Blurry was also made Nick such a success. We now enter 1985. Nickelodeon officially starts existing, and Turkey Television is added to the lineup. In 1986, Nickelodeon premiered a new show that is very important to it. Double Dare, a head new game show. The reason Double Dare is so important is because the origin of famous Nickelodeon slime. It would pour down on show's contestants. Nickelodeon would push to slime various people even today. Fun fact! I actually got slimed once! Actually, it was with Nickelodeon slime ketchup. Also in 86, Nickelodeon's parent company Viacom brought MTV. Viacom, also known CBS, which is considered to be one of the big three networks, along with ABC and NBS. Each of the big three were owned by different companies, truths contending Nickelodeon to the big boys. In 1987, Nick created the Big Ballot, a big event where kids got to vote their certain things. In 1988, 2 two major Nick things debut. One of them is Nick Jr. Nick Jr. would air shows aimed at preschool children on weekdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. However, preschool programming aired on weekdays mornings since the beginning, but the blog didn't have a unique name until now. And the other was the fact that the Big Ballot changed its name to Kids' Choice Awards after only 1 year. The Kids' Choice Awards is an annual show where kids could vote their various things in various categories. The winners of each category would receive an orange blimp with Nickelodeon's logo on it. In 1989, construction for Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida began. This building is also very bright and colorful. Isn't it pretty? This is also when Nick Jr. blog got his first actual show called Eureka's Castle. Eureka's Castle was the variant puppet show that aired between 1989 to 1991. Its head writer was actually Goosebumps artist R.L. Stein. Welcome to the 90s! The 90s was probably Nick prime time. Nick starts publishing magazines, but for now they're exclusive to Pizza Hut. Nickelodeon Studios officially opens in Orlando, Florida. This is also when most of Nick live-action shows were filmed, and all their game shows for that matter. Speaking of live-action shows, we got a bunch of them around this time. Welcome Freshmen, Clara Explains It All, and Sally Snorts. On August 11, 1991, 3 new shows premiered on Nick, and they were a big first. Doug, Rugrats, and the Ren and Stimpy Show were Nick's first 3 Nicktoons. To summarize, Nicktoons are animated cartoon series that would air on Nickelodeon. These 3 were the only ones for a while, but many will arrive later on today. In 1992, Nick released a blog that only aired on Saturday nights. Snick. Snick would run for 2 hours and broadcast shows such as these, but also new shows exclusive to the block. On April 30, 1992, Nickelodeon buried a time capsule. It was filmed mostly with things that scream 90s. It will be opened in 2042, 15 years after being buried. See? However, Nick was also beginning to face competition from Disney Channel and newly launched Cartoon Network. So they began advertising themselves as the first kids network. They're not technically wrong. At the point, Nickelodeon was doing amazingly well. Nick had 4 Nicktoons with Rocco More Than Life being added to the lineup. They also had new live-action hits too. The Young Preschool could tune on weekday mornings. You could vote your favorite things every year. You could tune on Saturday nights for the Ultimate Nick Expressives. And now Nick Magazines was being over the place instead of just your local Pizza Hut. Nick was a juggernaut to be the big to take down. In 1993, Nickelodeon VHS tapes started being produced. They were distributed by none other than Sonny Wonder. On January 2nd, 1994, Doug became the first Nicktoon to get cancelled. But 2 years later, Disney stole it and made new episodes under the name Disney's Doug. Later in 1984, All That came along. All That was a sketch comedy show that ran on Nick for quite a while. This is also the closest Nick ever got to make their own CNL. Nickelodeon's parents' company, Viacom, also brought Paramount Pictures around this time. This may not sound interesting now, but it will be a few laters. Then one day, Nick basically says, "Oh shoot, we almost forgot Nick Jr. existed!" So they completely retuned it by giving it 2 new original shows called Allegra's Window and Gullah Gullah Island, and a new Nick Jr. mascot named Face. On top of that, Nick started including Nick Jr. shows in their VHS lineup. Well, that's all for my friends. If you want to see part 2, go check it out.